This is 6 News at 6.
Ahead right now on 6 News, are your headaches and eye pain all thanks to the eclipse? Well, health experts tell us when you should be concerned.
And a family forced to flee after floodwater threatens their home, and they say it's the city of Temple's fault.
And we still have that severe weather in the forecast for us, a severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock. We'll talk about the details coming up.
And a very good evening to you wherever you may be across our viewing area and watching streaming from around the world. We know many of you do. I'm Chris Radcliffe.
And I'm Lindsay Lippman. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Chief Meteorologist Matt Farrell, let's go right back over to you.
Yep.
Because we do need to be aware of kind of what's been happening. It's been active today.
It has, and we got a little bit of a break, and it was only a couple of hours. Before that, though, several areas got upwards of 7 inches of rain. So when we talk about more rain coming into the area, that's not great news right now. Obviously, we love the rain. We want the rain. We just don't want it all at the same time. And the problem is this particular rain is accompanied by those severe weather threats. And in fact, we have a severe thunderstorm watch for most of our western counties, our I-35 counties, and even into parts of the Brazos Valley until 11 o'clock tonight. So that's what we're dealing with. And that's the kind of the time frame here that we're looking at for the strongest storms. So what are we looking at? Well, several severe thunderstorm warnings around the area, not necessarily in our viewing area, but we are looking down at Travis County and Williamson County right now, Lampasas County, over towards San Saba County. This is the storm we've been watching. This one actually had a tornado warning on it up until about 5:45 when it was in Mason County. Let's take a look now, and it's still showing some of the shape that we'd look for these supercell thunderstorms when we look for those indicators of rotation. Again, like a little bit of an inflow notch still there. We look for these little breaks in the reflectivity. That's where it kind of brings those south winds back around, which are a little bit drier. And so that's where we get these little notches. The other things that we look for, obviously, are velocity scans where you see the reds and the greens coming together. Those are those indications of rotation. This is a little bit messier. I can see why the tornado warning was allowed to expire. Not seeing that tight, formulaic rotation that we're used to seeing. Again, just kind of some broad rotation with this storm still. The severe thunderstorm warning, though, for Lampasas County or for Llano County is in effect until 7 o'clock, and so we're going to keep an eye on that. Tracking it here for you just a little bit. It'll be in Naruna by 6:36 and to Challenger High School area, if you know where that is, by about 6:53. Lampasas 6:53, and then Shortall by 7:05, and then it'll continue. It's about to move across the Colorado River into Lampasas County, so we're going to keep an eye on it there as it continues its eastward trek through the area. That's really the one storm in the area to talk about, and we're going to talk more about it and take a look at your forecast coming up.
All right, stay on it for us, Matt. We appreciate you. Drainage issues in Temple have forced a Temple family to evacuate their home and leave all of their belongings behind.
They told us that this issue began 2 years ago when the subdivision was built nearby, and the situation has only gotten worse. 6 News anchor Adriana Alexander is live now in Temple with more details on this ongoing issue for this family. Adriana?
Yeah, Chris, Lindsay, I'm on Alabama Avenue at the midpoint between where Cindy and David Watts have been dealing with these issues. Right here is where their home has been sitting for over 40 years. But on the other side is the Lake Point subdivision that was built over 2 years ago. And that's where they say these problems began. Whenever it rains, they say water from the drainage system floods their front porch, backyard, and has even made it into their homes. And that has caused them to evacuate today. They say they've been contacting the city about the problem for the last 2 years, and the city told them to send them pictures of what's happening. Well, every time it rains, they do send those pictures, but the city claims to have yet to fix it. Now, after the heavy rainfall that came down in Temple today, they had no choice but to evacuate their home and once again leave everything they love behind.
When they built that neighborhood, all the sheet flow from those houses and the roads and everything,
and the drainage,
they changed it and they drain it back here behind our house. I can't get back there right now, but you can see, and then they have it terminating on the side of our property right here at the corner of our shop, which it just overflows, started flowing in the corner and ruined this third yard. That's why we have it fenced off.
Now, 6 News did reach out to City of Temple officials to get a response back as to what the Watts family has been claiming, and they are working on getting information to give us a response back. In Temple, Adriana Alexander, 6 News.
All right, Adriana, thanks for staying on top of that. Meantime, police in Coppers Cove have identified a man killed in a motorcycle wreck this weekend. 29-year-old Brandon Fitzwater of Kempner crashed just before 8:30 Sunday night on Highway 190. Witnesses told police that he was speeding and lost control of his motorcycle, crashing into another vehicle. People on the scene tried to give him CPR, but he later died from his injuries. Police say the crash is still under investigation.
Well, after yesterday's total solar eclipse, it didn't take long for some people who viewed the spectacle to worry that their headaches and eye soreness were the beginnings of eclipse-related health problems.
6 News reporter Andrea Uribe shows us the aftermath of viewing the eclipse and what health issues people should be worried about, or if they shouldn't be worried at all.
Monday's eclipse had many people asking a variety of questions regarding their health, especially those that experienced headaches and eye issues. Today, we're speaking with medical professionals about the truth of the eclipse's effect on human health. Prior to the event, many doctors advise viewers to use eclipse glasses to protect their vision. Still, some eclipse viewers have complained of blurry vision, seeing spots, and even headaches. Could faulty glasses be the cause?
Now, there's always the risk that people may have gotten glasses that were supposed to be protective, but that weren't. It's not like there was FDA approval of them. So certainly, even if a person looked at the eclipse only with the glasses, yeah, you could get some damage to the retina. And that could potentially be permanent, but just unlikely.
There is no treatment for retina damage, and if it's temporary, as most cases tend to be, the symptoms of blurred vision ease over time. But permanent damage is untreatable, and only an optometrist can verify the degree of damage. As for the headaches, most cases can be easily explained by neck tension caused by looking up. Dr. Young says they have not received any clients with temporary or permanent eye damage or any other health issues related to the eclipse. For 6 News, I'm Andrea Uribe.
And students and teachers are gearing up for the STAR exams. You parents are probably aware, but there's a serious change to who is grading the test. The Texas Education Agency, or TEA, will use a new program to, quote, score open-ended questions. It's similar to AI technology like ChatGPT. This program learned how to perform the task using 3,000 responses that were scored by 2 people. According to the report from the Texas Tribune, the TEA will hire just 2,000 people now to do some of the grading. That's 4,000 people fewer than last year, with a cost savings of over $15 million. And you thought a robot was going to be taking your order at McDonald's.
Where's that $15 million going to go?
Yeah.
All right, a young pup named Serafina is ready for a loving home after recovering from some serious burns. The transformation is incredible, but please know that some of these images are difficult to watch. Serafina is only just a few months old. First responders rescued her from a fire back in February. And thanks to those firefighters and Lisa Cathan of Pearl's Place, Serafina has a second chance at life. The pup is doing much better today, and if you're interested in adopting the pit bull mix, you can reach out to Pearl's Place on Facebook.
Yeah, he's a good girl wagging her tail. All right, right now, music therapy is being used to help the tiniest babies in Texas hospitals.
This is really cool. In fact, certain music can help premature babies gain weight and regulate stress. Stephanie Whitfield takes us inside the neonatal intensive unit at Houston Methodist.
Baby Hugh has spent over 100 days in the NICU. He was born more than 3 months early when his mom was just 27 weeks pregnant. Doctors, nurses, and a music therapist have stayed by the family's side preparing Hugh to go home.
My job is really to keep the baby calm and the baby's nervous system regulated.
Hannah Mata does this full time in the neonatal intensive care unit at Houston Methodist Willowbrook. Every song she picks, her volume, is all calculated and intentional. Hannah also sings in the mom's native language.
I'll come by the bedside and I'll start singing a lullaby, and their breathing slows down, the heart rate goes down, that tachycardia goes away. They calm down, they stop crying, then they go to sleep.
She says research shows babies in music therapy gain more weight. Hannah showed us how music played through this device also helps preemies learn to take a bottle.
When the baby sucks appropriately, the right latch, music plays. When they stop, the music stops.
She says she knows it works because she sees proof every day.
Because I come in, they're in pain, they're suffering, and then I provide that music therapy and it goes away so quickly. And seeing the moms calm down and relax and bond with their baby. It's so rewarding.
Her sweet, soothing songs provide comfort when they need it most.
Love it. Play the John Denver,
Yeah.
the Jim Croce, those nice songs.
Just
yeah.
nothing heavy metal.
Right,
Coming
right.
up on, it'll have the opposite effect. Coming up on 6 News, you've signed up for the Do Not Call registry, but unwanted calls seem like they keep coming through. Does the list really work or not? Our Verify team gets to the bottom of it.
And then stick around because a little bit later in sports, Baylor baseball gearing up for Big 12 play. This time they're heading to Cougar country for a weekend series in Provo.
Cougar.
Hear from head coach Mitch Thompson coming up. You stop that, Lindsay. Well, if you have a phone, scammers have almost certainly been giving your number a ring or several rings, and it gets annoying. One tip that's been shared to keep scam calls away is by adding your number to the Do Not Call registry.
Ariane Detil verifies whether signing up for the popular service will actually stop those calls from coming in.
In 2003, the Federal Trade Commission introduced the Do Not Call registry, an opportunity for people to opt out of telemarketing phone calls by registering their phone number. But a Verify viewer who signed up for the registry says they're still receiving unsolicited calls, and they want to know how the registry works. So let's verify. Does the National Do Not Call registry stop all unsolicited phone calls? These are our sources. According to the Federal Communications Commission, the Do Not Call registry only stops unsolicited or illegal phone calls from telemarketers, but those aren't the only types of unsolicited calls. The Federal Trade Commission says there are many types of unsolicited calls that the registry doesn't block, like calls from political groups, charities, or debt collectors. So we can verify, no, the Do Not Call registry does not stop all unsolicited phone calls. Oh, and just a heads up, the Do Not Call registry doesn't actually block calls from reaching your phone. It simply tells registered telemarketers not to call certain numbers, which is why the FTC says being on the registry won't stop calls from scammers making illegal calls. Now, if an illegal robocall is made, those companies can be fined more than $50,000 per call. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Detil.
Well, it was an active weather day, but what's in store for tonight? Matt is back with the forecast. Stay with us.
Oh, I guess I should move forward. Wait, do I move forward? Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna step forward.
Welcome back to 6 News at 6. Time to take a look at your weather, and we are continuing to keep you weather aware here on this Tuesday evening, as we do have that severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 11 p.m. Yes, it was a tornado watch earlier that has been allowed to expire. The tornado threat has diminished, especially for our eastern counties who are now under no warnings. We are under that severe thunderstorm watch, though, for most of our I-35 counties into the west until 11 o'clock. That's the time frame that we're looking at for any severe weather. We're already seeing a couple of cells out there that have prompted some concern over the course of the last hour or so. So we're going to take a look out to the west here, just crossing the Colorado River. This cell right here, this was tornado warned when it was back in Mason County. That tornado warning has been allowed to expire. Still showing some weak signs of rotation, but for the most part, this has become a wind and hail threat, straight line wind and hail threat. You can see this backside of the warning in effect still until about 6:30, but then as it moves across the Colorado River into parts of Lampasas County, that warning is now in effect until 7 o'clock. And again, the main threats with this storm are going to be hail and wind at this point. Let's take a look inside the storm. You can see these bright green shadings indicating probably 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. What we're not seeing anymore is that tight signature of rotation, so that's why the tornado warning was allowed to expire. And again, this is now more of a hail and wind threat. That rotation, whatever rotation is left, will help sustain this storm as it continues to move. And of course, as it continues to evolve, we will keep you updated, of course. So if we see a tornado warning issued for this storm, of course, we will bring it to you here. So where is this storm heading? Well, it's heading to the east at about 25 miles per hour. Naruna by about 6:29, Challenger High School, Lampasas by 6:38, and Ocala there by about 7:16. And I mentioned the hail threat. Let's take a look at that and see what's going on inside this storm. Again, severe thunderstorm warning, San Saba, for Llano, for also for Lampasas counties there. This hail, okay, so as we look at this, I scoped this just a couple of minutes ago. It is now kind of, that's expired. I want you to take a look here at these bright pink shadings again, just on the east side of the Colorado River. That was, at last check, 2.5-inch hail. That's a tennis ball. So again, if you've ever played tennis, keep in mind, that's very large hail. This is damaging hail, so this is not something to be outside for. And again, those winds probably gusting to about 40 to 50 miles per hour in their own right. So we're going to keep an eye on that storm here for the next couple of hours, see how it evolves. It's moving east, of course. That will put it into Bell County here over the next couple of hours, so obviously want to keep an eye on that. The other thing to take a look at, we had all the rain earlier, that had all 5-6 inches in several spots. So now we're looking at the Navasota River. We have a flood warning for parts of the Navasota River there as it crosses 14 until 6:30 on Friday morning. That's when they expect it to recede back down below flood stage. A little further downriver there along the edge of Robertson County, that doesn't expire until Sunday at 8:30. So again, flooding concerns with the Navasota River here over the next few days because of the amount of rain we got today, and we are still expecting a little bit more as we head through the next couple of days. So how much rain did we get? How about 7 inches according to the Texas Mesonet for Troy and Temple, a little over 5.5 for Groesbeck, Stillhouse Hollow, about 5 inches. Mejia there close to 4 inches. And then the other parts of the area that didn't quite see as much rain, still some healthy totals. Waco only about 1 inch. McGregor a little bit less than 1.5 inches. Killeen almost 2.5. And then Rogers there about 3 inches of rain today. So let's put your forecast in motion. Those storms continue to track to the east here over the next several hours. Here about 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. We're going to get another little break, maybe some scattered activity here through the 1:30 hour. But then as we head towards the middle of the night, tonight, that cold front comes through, and that's where we're going to see another chance for scattered, widespread showers and thunderstorms moving through the area. So make sure you tune into Texas Today for that, because that's going to be that time frame. So that's what we have going on here. How much more rain could we see? Well, some of us could see upwards of 1 inch to 2 inches more, which would not be ideal considering the amount of rain most areas have already seen. But then we will dry out after Wednesday. Keep in mind, after the rain, the cold front comes through, it is going to be very windy tomorrow. Let's take it over to Nicole with sports.
Well, the rain in Waco stopped just in time for spring practice. Always a fun part of the year because it's a chance for football programs to see their talent go to work on the field while also watching players emerge as top dogs and leaders. And well, for Baylor football, they've spent weeks gearing up for their annual Green and Gold game at McLean Stadium. Now, the question everyone's asking, who will be named as the Bears QB1 this season? Well, that answer may not come until sometime this summer. Head coach Dave Aranda says they're waiting for someone to separate themselves from the pack and really dominate under center. But for this offense, well, that just hasn't happened yet. You've got one quarterback in DeQuan Finn who can air it out downfield and play to Spavital's Bear Raid offense. And then you've got Sawyer Robertson, who specializes in the run game under center. Aranda says both have big-time weapons that continue to turn heads.
What you see out of Sawyer is a really strong care factor, and then you see the ability to hit on intermediate and timing throws, and then his ability to run the ball, on the designed runs, I think is a positive. And then you see leadership with him, and then with Quan, you see his ability to extend plays, his ability to hit deep shots, and his ability to make something happen when something's not there, right? Whether it's a run or pass. And so I think because a lot of the runs are reads, and so I think he's for sure there's an 11th guy you got to defend when it's DeQuan.
We'll get to see DeQuan, Sawyer, and even RJ Martinez probably go to work when they take the field on Saturday, April 20th for the Green and Gold spring game at McLean Stadium. And over on the diamond, Baylor baseball looking to sit back in the win column after falling just short of a series sweep on Sunday. Incarnate Word snapping their 5-game win streak with a dominant takedown at Baylor Ballpark, serving the Bears a little bit of a taste of their own medicine. And tonight's game against Dallas Baptist has been canceled due to weather, so the Bears now turn their eyes to another conference matchup. Baylor sitting at 2-2 in Big 12 series play this season, facing a BYU squad who just took down the Longhorns in Austin. But the Bears building lots of confidence at the dish, racking in 29 total runs in just 3 games. And this past weekend, well, they're hoping to bring that same spark to Provo.
We've got 5-6 guys in the lineup now hitting over 300, so they're consistently raising, their performance, and that's good. That helps us. We've got to score. We've got to score to win. Pitching can do great things, but if you don't score, you don't win. And so our magic number's always been about 6 or 7. If we can get to 6 or 7, we're going to be in pretty good shape.
Game 1 first pitch against BYU Thursday night at 6 p.m. from Miller Park. And number 18 Baylor softball hitting the road to San Antonio to face UTSA today. That first pitch underway as we speak from Roadrunner Field, and we've got highlights for you coming up at 10. But that's it for sports. We'll be right back.
All right, let's take another look at your live radar before we get out of here on this Tuesday evening. Again, we have a couple of severe thunderstorms. One is kind of in our viewing area, Lampasas, that area. The other one is not. It's down in Travis County, but that is heading east. So if you're in the Brazos Valley, that storm could impact you here over the next couple of hours to the next 2 to 3 hours. For us here again in Lampasas, we're watching a storm that has a history of producing golf ball-sized hail moving east just across the Colorado River as we speak.
All right, Wheel of Fortune next if you're in the Brazos Valley. If you're on the stream, we're done.
We'll see you at 10.